On to you crabs out here. So you crabs have the four swords, the eight of cups, and then you crabs have the strength card. So for you, you very much so, there's definitely a level of display of strength, right? You even have the strength card from not really being attached to a particular person, very much so, or subject, or particular situation, very much so. You crabs walking away from that particular person or subject because you don't want to have anything to do with them, or this person. So you're just simply walking away. And like I said before, the amount of discipline that it requires to walk away from something that you may like or someone that you may like is very strong. The ability to actually walk away from it. The Five of Cups and the Devil card represents how a lot of you crabs, your mentality about how you perceive relationships is starting to develop. It's starting to actually make a lot more sense, starting to be a lot more organized. Part of the lack of success that a lot of people have is their understanding in what it is that they want. And I've said this before, if you're an adult, you need to start understanding what you want on either side, both sides, because this is where the confusion begins. This is what happens, why it is that a lot of people will end up breaking up their marriages or end up breaking up an otherwise happy home. It's because they're not necessarily set on what it is that they really want to do, because they don't want to understand that they are good sides and not so good sides with everything, right? That's part of it. Another part of it is they want everything and they can have everything, but they need to know how. And the situation is that they unfortunately deceive themselves into thinking that I have to pick between one or the other. And that's not necessarily true. It's just that it's just the illusion that you need to pick between one or the other. And what I mean by that is people need to have a better understanding of relationships, right? We need to knock it off with all of this. Two people can't be friends and not be in a relationship. Yes, you better. Yeah, you better, because you can't be physically attracted to and romantically attracted and try to hang out with romantically every single person that you find to be attractive. That in on itself is actually unhealthy. That on itself is unhealthy in many ways. You'll catch something. That's number one. Number two, right? Sometimes the romantic fun is the press button, or I should say is the start button that someone essentially pressed, right? For them to start wilding out and acting real out of pocket. So next thing you know, they following you around, they stalking you type stuff. So it's like, if you want to be able to not only survive but thrive in this world, you better learn that sometimes people are better off as friends. Because way too many people put too much of a overly physical undertone or overtone onto everything. And I'm seeing how it is that, again, to kind of go in on this even further, this is what it is that I'm saying as to why it is that the modern day relationships, a lot of it sucks. It's because a lot of people don't really know what it is that they want in relationships, and they need to start understanding what they want, what they're looking for, and they need to start making decisions. Because another part of it too is the fact that some people don't want to make a decision and then stick to it, right? They don't be like, okay, well, I'm gonna go with this and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, I'm having some drawbacks where I would like a little bit of everything, but I'm gonna stick to this, right? And because they don't want to stick to that, they don't have that follow through, right? That resolve. That's what messes them up. That's a big component of what messes them up, because then they choose nothing, or they end up wasting the time that they have, as well as everybody else's time, because of the fact that they don't have that level of resolve. You understand what I'm saying? Now, why that's important even in the first place is because of the Five of Cups and the Devil card. This is you, crabs, getting your head together about what it is that you want yourself, and knowing more about what it is that you want, so that you don't end up getting jammed up or confused as to what you want to do and where you want to go, right? This is why it is, like I said before, relationships end up being sometimes a waste of time, because, or end up being meaningful, and they are meaningful at some point, and then they end up being useless later on, because of the fact that how it is that people will break up their relationships, because they now start they now start thinking that, oh, what am I missing out, when they don't seem to understand that they can have all of those things, but they just need to know how, right? They'll break up like marriages and relationships, and they'll talk about, oh, I want to do my own thing. And it's like, but why can't you do your own thing in the relationship? Why can't you do your own thing with a relationship coming with you? And it's like, people are so stupid, they never even thought about that. And why that's important to you, crabs, right? Right, Five of Cups. Let's continue. The Five of Cups, the Seven of Cups, and the Chariot. Why this is so important even in the first place is because of the fact that, like I said before, you crabs are getting it clear about what it is that you want, so you don't fall into one of these categories. Because I see it so many times, right? Especially online. I see it so many times. This is why it is that, this is what happens, why it is that a lot of people end up getting caught up with that. They end up getting caught up with that situation in the first place due to the fact that they end up really being in a position where it's like, okay, you know, they doing too much because they expect too much, they want too much. You know what I mean? So the Page of Cups and the Seven of Cups right here represents how a lot of people will come to you, right? As far as you are going to meet a lot more people on your path, crabs, but you'll have to know who is who. That's another way that you crabs can actually end up being in a very good disposition, because what I'm seeing here is that, again, you crabs are open to meeting someone new, but the situation with you is y'all got to get your head together, because the Page of Cups, and the Seven of Cups says that you will meet brand new faces, you will meet new people, but one of the things that'll help you to be able to get your stuff straight, to get you more exact about what it is that you want, is understanding who fits in what category, right? Understanding who is marriage material and who is not. Me as a Virgo, I can be the friends with benefits, or I can be the marriage material type. Not going down to the courthouse and signing my name on the paper. I'm not doing that. But the point is that I can do both of those things, because when I meet someone, I'm basically trying to see what type of time they on. I'm trying to get a better understanding of who they actually are. And if I observe that at the end of the day, what it is that they are is that they're dysfunctional, then obviously they're not in the category of me making them a person that I would want to get to know, right? From a marriage perspective, an exclusive perspective, right? And then for the people who are decent, right, and we have things in common and we have similar value systems, then that's what it is that I will want, obviously. So I know what it is that I'm looking out for. And this is why it is that I say that you crabs got to get your stuff right, because you have to know what it is that you're looking out for as well. The Chariot does represent you crabs as far as in the major arcana, right? The zodiac sign. So you do need to oh, you have the Chariot and the Wheel of Fortune. Both of these are the crabs, right? You crabs. So you did show up back to back, and this represents that this is your wheelhouse. Now, I'm not necessarily suggesting that you make someone hold out for a particularly long time. And I'm gonna kind of go into different areas in this reading and kind of drop some real gems with y'all, right? Um, the reason why it is, a lot of people kind of goof on me a little bit for me saying that, yeah, you gotta basically give it up in with basically within a month. But what a lot of people really don't take into, and they goof on me. But what a lot of people don't take into consideration for, right, is the fact that, again, the waiting time, right? And what I mean when I say the waiting time, I'm talking about it from a perspective of people tend to have this delusion of grandeur that they keep moving the goalposts and keep giving different prices for different people. And that's not really going to cut it, because the mentality of, okay, well, this person can have it the first day, but then the person that might actually end up being the correct one that may do right by you has to wait. Or sometimes people will have a checkered past, so to speak, right? A checkered past, non-Freemasonic, but a checkered past, right? But then when they get to a certain point, now it's like, okay, well, they're going to make this person wait because it's too inconsistent. Because what needs to actually happen is still go ahead and do your thing, but ask questions. Because one thing that you crabs have to do too, right? And one thing that you have to look out for when it comes to other people as well, right? As you're out here getting to know some people, right? Because this whole reading is about you crabs basically dating and trying to meet new people and trying to find out who they are, right? And asking them questions, stuff like this. One thing that you crabs have to watch out for, right? As well as watch out for yourself so that you don't do it, is that you crabs have to ultimately watch out that you don't end up moving the goalpost. I don't move the goalpost. I don't move the goalpost. You know, like I said before, I can either be friends with benefits or and have romantic fun, or I can be in a relationship with a person. My job is to essentially get to know who the person is. If the person is wild and out of pocket and ratchet and out there, and they're not marriage material, then I'm not marrying them. I'm not taking them I'm not taking them seriously. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care how beautiful they look. I don't care how much we may get along sometimes. In the longer run, in the bigger picture, I know personally that these people are not necessarily the best type of people. Same thing when it comes to marriage market value, right? A lot of people, truth be told, a lot of people hide or cover the fact that they're chameleons. A lot of people will hide that. They'll try to make themselves seem like they're decent people. And they don't seem to understand that I'm really listening. Because if you really are a decent person, you don't like Beyonce. You don't like Cardi B. You don't like Nicki Minaj. You don't like these people. You have the capacity to think for yourself. You're not interested in what's trendy. So the mere fact that you like these people, Beyonce if you ask me, Beyonce factually is a terrible person. Beyonce got you compromised between getting tickets and spending the money on rent. What does that say about the person's character and the people that follow up behind Beyonce? Come on, Beyonce is a billionaire. How come Beyonce can't go, okay, well, I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the prices. Why? I already have an overabundance. I already have investments. What am I such a fiend for the money for? What am I in? on some New York stuff, right? On some New York slang. What am I beast mode? Why am I beasting for the money for? I have more than enough. When's the last time you've ever heard a Jay-Z or a Beyonce, right, give to charity? Never. You understand what I'm saying? Not to mention the people who that I've observed who have this mentality where they love this stuff. It's their drone-like group of people. They all think the same. They're all this weird, whacked out mentality, this weird Pluto, you know what I'm saying? The farthest out, the weirdest farthest out that doesn't make any kind of colloquial, any kind of local sense. They're not even, I can't even say Pluto. I gotta say in the neighborhood galaxy. They're not even in the same galaxy, right? Literally. So I'm saying all that to say that I know what it is that I should be looking out for. I'm not even gonna say what is marriage material, right? As far as getting it too deep. One of the things that you crabs have to look out for to understand if a person is marriage material is if they are a homebody. Do they like being outside all the time so much and all this other type of stuff? How do they spend their time? What does their 24 hours look like? Standing outside all the time? Or do they have somewhere to go? Do they have a purpose as to why they came outside? You know what I'm saying? So let's clarify the Wheel of Fortune. The Lovers, the Nine of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, the Four of Cups, and then you have the Ace of Wands to clarify the Wheel of Fortune. That's my point. Because if we're clarifying the Wheel of Fortune, and we are, the Lovers, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Seven of Wands right here, right, represents you basically not really being able to take certain people seriously. And if you're going to be in a relationship with some people that you are meeting, you're going to have to take them seriously. You're going to have to see some form of value. A person who is marriageable, a person who is worthy of being taken seriously, they have purpose, and they're already on both sides, and they're already on their purpose when they met you. It's just that when the two of you get together, they show you what their purpose is. You got a lot of people ripping and running around out here, my dear crabs, that talk about, I'm waiting on somebody to take care of me. That's a dub. We are adults. Everybody needs to have their own purpose. If you waiting on somebody to come through, scoop you up, and I'm not saying you, but I'm saying the person, right? So these are some of the ways that you crabs can help get your mind straight, because some of you are getting to know people, but you're still kind of not necessarily really understanding a little bit of what it is that you're looking for, right? To be able to understand when a person is marriageable and worthy of taking seriously, and when a person is basically like a throwaway. Then you have the Four of Cups and the Ace of Wands. If the person is difficult to get to know, right? If the person has all these types of hang-ups, and what I mean when I say hang-ups, I mean they can't have fun. It's not a very fun interaction, a joyous interaction with them. You know why? They got all kinds of hang-ups. They got all kinds of, well, I'm this way, and I have this, and I get this, and I have this. If everything seems to be a problem, you wanna, I don't know, you wanna go to the Thanksgiving Day parade or whatever the case may be, and like you wanna hang out with them or whatnot. And they're like, oh, you know, they make up some sort of an excuse never to have fun, never to come outside, never to do anything. Oh, okay, do you want to go to a video game competition? Oh, no. Everything to them seems to be some sort of an issue as to why they can't do it, why they can't, why it is that they can't, this can't happen, why they're not supposed to, why. It's a dub. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video for now. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Peace. Have a good one.